This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, let's say hello to our animal friends. Let's see, 105.3 The Bear in Blacksburg, Virginia. Speaking of Virginia.
Talking about bears, talking about Virginia.
Yeah. Let's go to the Fox, New Rock, 96.9 The Fox in beautiful Appleton, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
There is another animal. And we had
Got your big dog.
Oh, no, the Fox, South Bay's Classic Rock in San Jose, 98.5. K-Fox down there as well. So
and Big Dog, man.
And Big Dog, that's right, in WAAF, Boston's legendary rock station. A big show for you guys today as we are 4 days away from Red Festival. We've got Castle, the Drunken Charge coming in. We'll sit and spin today with 10 songs about beer. We'll ask, does it fart? And we will drink and toast with a shot of the day. Our question, what is the story behind the riskiest thing that you've ever done? 844-999-OLA.
Funny you brought up the station in Boston. Hello, Mike in Boston. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hello, Mike.
And he's gone.
Yo.
Oh,
there he is. What up, Mike?
We have a time change difference there, Mike. It's
Yes.
It's a little bit of a delay of 3,000 miles. Go ahead.
All right, so I was friends with benefits with this girl, and she ended up getting a boss friend, a boyfriend. And the guy hated me from the get-go, from the start. Didn't even know me and hated me. He hated me because I was sleeping with the girl he wanted to be with.
Yeah.
Well, sure.
So we had a huge falling out, me and the girl did, and we stopped talking to each other. So just recently, all of a sudden, I'm getting half-naked pictures from her. Hey, how are you? And hey, how are you?
Oh, no, don't go away. You just got to the good part. It's like, okay, go ahead. So what happens now? You get the pictures, and what happens?
So now she's messaging me every night with half-naked pictures. You should come see me. You should come see me. I'm like, well, I work till 11, so that's kind of hard. And she's like, come over after 11. So I'm like, all right. So I take the ride. I go to her house. Hour drive, by the way. Mm-hmm. So I go to her house.
We get it, man. We understand.
I walk in her house, and I knew what was going to happen. So it was worth the hour drive. So I walk in her house, and there's her boyfriend passed out on the couch. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And she's like, don't worry about it. He won't wake up. And I'm like, are you sure? She's like, positive. So we're sitting on the couch next to him, and she just starts getting undressed. So I'm like, okay. So we move to the bedroom. The dude wakes up, looks at her, looks at me, shakes his head, turns around, and goes back onto the couch.
Was he just super drunk?
I'm looking at her, we're in the middle of it. We were fully engaged. And I'm like, do we stop or do we keep going? She's like, quickly finish, go.
No problem.
Up, and I'm like, damn, I'm never going to see this girl ever again.
But if that's the last time you see her, that's okay.
Yeah.
It was, because, it would have been worth it. So the next morning, which she never messages me in the morning, she messages me, and she says, hey, he thought it was a dream. Do you want to come over tonight?
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, yeah, I'll be there at midnight. And she's like, all right, I'll see you then.
Is this a big dude?
And, no, not at all. The dude's guy's a wimp. And we've been continuing, and I'm making sure that the dude's not there. So he wakes up, and he told her, I could have sworn that you were having sex with so-and-so on the couch last night. And she's like, no, I wasn't.
How long has she been dating this dude now?
4 years.
And how long have you been sleeping with her?
Well, the first time I slept with her, we slept together for about 8 months. And now it's only been a month.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just 1 month with a wimpy drunk dude passed out on the
That's your
sofa.
Eskimo brother, by the way. What is
Let him know that next time you see him.
Hey, my Eskimo brother.
Hey, just rub his nose, do the nose kiss.
Let's see.
That's how you subtly let someone know. Hey, man, I just met this dude and he rubbed his nose on mine.
Speaking of having sex in front of people, A shocked husband and wife filmed a pair of Randy lovers going at it in a back row of a holiday jet. Now, I'm going to tell you the story, okay? But I want you... There's one part of this story that is very disturbing to me as an individual. I mean, it's just like...
You're going to see if we can figure out the part that bothers you?
The part that bothers me the most about this story, okay?
That you were not involved. That's my first guess.
That's one. So the story goes. The brazen couple appear to be joining the Mile High Club as the young woman basically sits on the guy's lap.
Right, just straddles him, right?
All right. A couple filmed the pair of Mile High lovers. They were sitting directly behind them, and basically they held up the camera, and you could see them going at it right behind them.
Okay.
They then sent the footage to their daughter.
How old is
Kylie Tully, well, she's an adult.
Okay.
Posted it on Twitter saying, my mom and dad were just trying to have a peaceful trip to Mexico, and then they sent me this. The video has been viewed more than 3.6 million times.
Yeah, because people having sex.
It shows her mom and dad looking in horror as they film the two having sex behind them. The camera captures their looks of horror at the going on in the back row. At one point, the camera pans around the cabin of a small commercial jet and then back to show the man. Now he's got his hands going through her hair and everything else. The crew appeared not to notice what is happening, and they were able to continue uninterrupted. Nothing was ever addressed to this. Not clear which airline they were flying on or
not Virgin.
Any action was taken by the staff or anything like that. But either way,
it is blatant. They're having sex.
They're blatantly having sex. Yeah. I don't care, but here's my okay. Any idea what my problem is with this?
I'm listening, man. I don't know.
I don't care, I think, how old my daughters are. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to send them a video of a couple having sex. You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm in it, like, ha, 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 like, still, I might send it to you. Or Steve.
But the mom...
Well, then I'll send it to your daughter. We can do it that way.
And the
mom's there, too, though. And I think that's a huge thing.
Okay.
Like, if you're just a dad and you said that to your... Like, I might think...
Right. Yeah,
but, when both parents were like, this is ridiculous.
Somehow that makes it better.
Yeah. Because I think that's more... Right. I think it's more just the parents, like... Have you watched the video?
I have not watched it. No.
Oh, it's blatant. So I think the parents are just so shocked. And who knows? The daughter's probably crazy.
Might be.
So just like, hey, crazy daughter, look at this one.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. I think it helps the mom is there.
And there's no nudity.
No, but I mean, it's just in clear view.
Is there audio or is it just?
It's not really that. Okay, here we go. All right, so here is the couple. Okay. Now you see the couple in the back, right? So they're just sitting there like, can you believe this? But their video is filming through the gap between the two seats as it's split there. So here they are on the plane.
Yeah.
You can just see her in the back. And they're just doing like the killer commentary.
Man, oh man,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, like they are getting it on, right?
They're not even trying to be subtle.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's blatant they're having sex in there.
Maybe that's the flight attendant. I'd fly that airline.
That is fantastic.
Slutair.
What is the story behind the riskiest thing that you have ever done? 2 firefighters in Ohio. They have been suspended for allegedly making pornographic videos at the firehouse.
Calling Engine 69.
Akron officials say that Arthur Dean and Deanne Eller were both placed on administrative leave while the city launched an investigation into the matter. And they're still having sex here as I'm watching it.
Yeah, it's still going.
Yeah, not safe for work. Fire Chief Clarence Tucker says someone told a firefighter last week about the acts possibly being performed on city property, a.k.a. someone was watching some pornography and went,
right.
Hey, man, I know that place, and I know those people.
That's our firehouse.
Yes, it is.
Go get him.
Hey, how about I know him? The firefighter reported it to a supervisor who then told the chief. Tucker and Mayor Dan Horrigan said in a joint statement that Dean and Eller did not work at the same fire station, but were known to be in a long-term relationship, and they have not identified the firehouse exactly where the videos took place. But a spokesman for the local fires union said, no comment.
I'm not trying to nitpick, man, and I get what they did. There's something about the idea of a porn that has a guy named Arthur. Like, Arthur, to me, is one of the unsexiest names you could possibly have. Mm-hmm. Right? Everyone who gets into porn comes up with a fake name. No one goes by Arthur.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're talking about this porn. I heard you say the name Arthur, and who knows? Maybe he's the swordsmith and the best-looking man ever. As soon as I heard that name, I'm like, this sounds awful.
But firemen get away with that stuff. They still rock the mustache.
I know, but your name is Arthur. I just feel like, I don't know.
Work.
Yeah.
Maybe he just goes by Art.
Okay, see, like Artie, you know.
This is,
Arthur is not. It's like if your name is Helga, and you're in porn, it's like, you might be the greatest porn actress ever. I'm not going to click on it. You sound horrible.
Yeah, the word Arthur just makes you think of that old drunk English dude.
Yeah, exactly. Dudley Moore.
Or the little cartoon.
It's one thing to have sex there, but they apparently had quite the rig set up as far as the lighting and everything else. So
were they doing like a pro shoot?
Yeah, more so than that. It wasn't just two people having sex with a handheld phone.
Why would you think you would not get caught then?
I'll tell you why. Well, it's more about the idea of it's firefighter porn.
Sure. Well,
which I read in another article, which is apparently very popular.
Oh, sure.
Especially with the females.
I got you. All right. So they're going to make their money on this.
Exactly. A terrifying moment we see here as the World Cup is going on in Russia right now.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Have you guys seen the pictures of the bear in the back of the car riding down the street playing a vuvuzela?
That's the same bear they had at like that Division III soccer match in Russia where he walked out the soccer ball.
Yes.
Wait. You said he's playing the vuvuzela?
Yeah, he's in the back of a convertible.
Playing a vuvuzela.
I was listening. I haven't heard the headline, so I'm listening to you. Said have you seen the video
of the
bear in the back of a pickup truck?
He's sitting on the
playing
back
a vuvuzela
of a convertible, like he's the parade queen.
Okay,
you know what I mean? He's sitting on the back of the car
playing a vuvuzela.
And he's got a vuvuzela and he's playing it. And the guy's driving the car, and people are taking pictures.
And it was right after I think they won the first match of the World Cup.
Okay,
so everybody's real fired up, but.
This is a real big bear. This is like a Kodiak-looking bear. The bear is enormous to the point where you don't want to be 10 feet. You don't want to be in 10 feet of this bear. Like, this is not a good idea for this bear not to be in a cage or
play a vuvuzela in a convertible.
In a car with a cage and all that stuff. So this just happens in a parade. Another story about a bear
I don't think it's a parade. I think it's literally just traffic. They win the game.
Oh, so he's just driving down the street.
Right, that's the other issue.
Wait, this isn't even a thing? There's just a guy driving with a vuvuzela playing bear?
Right, that's why everybody's like, what are you doing to this bear? There's no way a bear could act like this.
What the hell? Who just does that?
What is the story behind the riskiest thing that you've ever done? 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Nobody would want to know that. 4 days from Red Festival, Bicholos, and in honor of that, we've got Ryan Castle, Drunk in Charge, coming in to sit and spin 10 songs about beer coming up with the Drunk in Charge. Our question today, what is the story behind the riskiest thing that you have ever done? This is a crazy moment. We go back to the world of animals, and we're back in Russia, and we're back to bears. This is the terrifying...
Is there any other animal in Russia? Like, if you ever hear about that, there's dogs, bears, and like reindeer. That's all I ever hear about.
There's dogs that ride the train there, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we hear about that? They go from village to
subway,
village
man.
and all that stuff. This is a terrifying moment as a angry performing bear attacks its handlers after being forced to ride a skateboard and then is beaten with a stick at a circus in Russia. Children in the audience screamed as the animal turned on its keeper moments after riding down a ramp during a performance in a village in the Volgograd region of Russia. Now, would you just be, again, just scared enough to be in a tent with an animal that size that is not, there's no way that there's no cage. There's nothing like that. If you got a front row seat, this bear is literally 5 feet away from you.
Never go front row. I believe that anything with live animals.
Gallagher.
Look, man.
Bears.
Roy Horn, right? With
Siegfried
Roy, right? So, and I know the tiger bit him because the tiger's a goddamn tiger. But again, same thought. Like, if I'm in the front row, even when it's attacking Roy Horn, it's like, hey, man, if he lets him go, like, my ass could be I never want to be front row. And what is it with Russians and bears? Why do they have to play the vuvuzela or ride skateboards? Like, just let him be a bear. There's a pattern there.
Did you see the video of this?
Oh,
I have not.
Okay, this bear looks like a Greco-Roman wrestler. It looks like a sumo wrestler it's just always on offense, always pushing the guy, like trying to get an edge on him, and just, no matter how much
hit with a stick, he
just keeps coming at him. It's insane. Members of the staff tried to beat the brown bear with sticks as it pinned a colleague on the ground. Spectators said it was clearly agitated and wanted to leave the arena and became aggressive with its female handler. A male member of the circus troupe then repeatedly struck the animal with a stick. This only angered the animal more.
Yeah, could you keep hitting it with a stick?
Then the bear overpowered the man. He knocked him to the ground and attacked him on the floor of the circus ring. Scared spectators were just a few feet from this entire incident. There are no barriers between them and the out-of-control bear. To me, that is
But again, remember, now this is Russia. And the one thing we learned about Russia, we don't know a ton, but when they were doing the Winter Olympics, we were giggling because I guess the toilets, the actual toilets in the men's bathroom where men go to poop, were just side by side with no barrier, right? And we said, man, how could you forget to put up the barrier? And then a lot of Russian listeners chimed in and said, look, in Russia, man, you just poop next to the guy next to you. So I just feel like barriers are not something that's very, very important.
You would never
culturally.
You would never go to SeaWorld, even if they had a trainer in the water who was working with Shamu. You would never be
Shamu's still alive?
In the waters. You know what I mean? Like, I think they still call them Shamu and
Oh, you're like Shamu 8?
Yeah, like there's like 9 Mickey Mouses running around.
Right.
They're all called Mickey. But this one, you would never be able to be in the water. And then you would never have, like, there couldn't be a chance that orca could swim over to you if it wanted to.
Right.
And lick you on the face.
They don't do it in the pool.
That's the equivalent of, right. That's the equivalent of this, man. Like, you're in an enclosed area with a brown bear. And you're thinking that those two dudes, I mean, you know, are gonna keep this thing away from you with a stick? Like, to me, I'm not paying you for that ticket. You got to pay me to go in there and risk my life. To sit there and watch you be an idiot.
How much do they have to give you?
I don't know. A lot. Because, I mean...
We're going to beat this bear with a stick.
Once you see this video, you go, I cannot believe that all those people are just in proximity of this animal that's wild. Scared spectators just a few feet away, no barriers, and the out-of-control bear. 2 women handlers then beat the animal with sticks again and tried to drag the animal away. The man finally managed to get to his feet, evidently without any serious injury. A local woman from the village said, my relatives and their little son went to that show, and they sat in the front row. When they announced the performance of the Bear Visionary, or something of that kind, my relatives wanted to take a video and went closer to the exit. Even on video, it is clear that the animal was nervous, reluctantly slipping off the ramp. The animal wanted to leave. He was pulled back in. You can tell the bear's having a very hard time. They didn't care. A local resident says the circus is still in the village. They came from St. Petersburg, but now
they're still hanging out.
Their big top 10 is still up. I hope that the relevant authorities will conduct a check and understand what is going on in the circus. The attack was at a show on Saturday over the weekend.
I'll tell you a little observation I've made on today's program alone. All right, earlier you brought up the dude who intentionally put a 35-foot python around his neck, and then, as pythons are wont to do, it tried to choke his ass to death, right?
Yep.
Then you bring up this bear, because the circus is there, there's no barrier. In both of these cases, it happened in villages. It's not a town. It's not a city. So just a mental note I've made is, should I ever travel abroad? Like, I'll stay in a town or a city, but if they call it a village, don't, because bad things happen to villages. If you look at anything in India, like the elephants coming out of there and wrecking people, the tigers eating people, it's always a village.
Not only that, but,
right? They never say the town of, they say the village. Village to me says danger from the natural world.
Like,
villagers die.
Not only that, but
right, villagers die, man.
If you're in the middle of nowhere, and you just happen to, like, drive by, like, Billy's Reptile Farm, just keep driving,
right,
man.
Don't stop.
You know, just keep on driving, man. Because it's like, why is this thing here?
2 hours ago, I used to have a live gator. Where is it? Don't know.
If you ask, why is this thing here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, get out. I just drove by one of those the other day. I'm like, why is that there? That should not be there. What's if it said rescue, or if it said sanctuary, I'd go.
But or zoo.
But zoo. Billy's
when I was a kid, we went to the zoo.
That's a little different, you know. But when it's owned by Billy, you know what I mean? The one red light town, no. What is the story behind the riskiest thing you've ever done? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Angela. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
The riskiest thing I have ever done, however, I didn't realize at the time that it was the riskiest thing I had done. Starting a trip in California, going to do a bunch of hiking. We stopped to visit some folks right outside of Yosemite. They happen to own a whole bunch of property out there.
Imagine that. Someone who lives near Yosemite has a lot of property.
Yeah, normally it's just the condo market, so beaten down there.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
So we go out for a nice, peaceful walk. My ex has got her camera, taking bunches of pictures. I decide, looks, it's a beautiful day. I've been in the car all day. Strip off all my clothes.
Oh, yeah.
Step out onto this boulder with it, a little stream kind of coming through, big flat boulder sitting there. I thought, oh my God, how comfortable. I'll go sit out on that, splash a little water on me, walk on out there, and I sit down. Everything's going fine, enjoying myself. And when you sit in a bathtub and you get that immediate seal, but when you lift up your butt cheek and the water comes underneath you, well, I'm sitting on this rock, and I lift up one butt cheek, water starts coming up under, lift up that other butt cheek, and I start sliding a little bit. Rock is just a little bit mossy.
You place your mossy cottage on a mossy rock.
So I start sliding. I'm not too worried about it yet because I'm like, I'll just get up and walk.
Sliding off the rock. Yeah, it's the water's fault. Right. Sure.
Yeah. Well, I start picking up a little bit of speed. I start getting a little bit more nervous. Next thing I know, I'm heading for the edge of this thing. Now, I was quite a little ways back. I wasn't too stupid, so I knew that I was at the edge of a little waterfall. But
the woman sitting naked on the rock in a river, so I wasn't too stupid. But it does. The story begins with me naked on a rock in a river.
But when the current starts to pick up on that, you're kind of at the mercy of the river. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. Well, and let me explain. The rock had literally probably not even an inch of water flowing over it, so it's not like it was this, moving stream. It was just a little bit of water cascading over this rock into the abyss because I didn't realize what was below me. So I started sliding. I'm like, oh, my God, this is not going to end well. So I'm grasping for anything. I swear to God, there's probably still claw marks in that rock to this day. And, of course, I grab this little sapling on the side, and it just kind of bends with me. And I can feel myself starting to go over. I had just enough time to get myself flipped back because at this point I'm on my belly just grasping for anything. Flip back over on my butt. Just in time to go feet first over this waterfall.
Jeez.
And I land in this pool below, and a nice flat rock broke my fall on my lower legs.
Ooh.
And, of course, my chest hits it after that, and I fall over into the pool, and there's bubbles everywhere, and I'm going, oh, my God, this is how I'm going to die. And I, stand up then and realize, okay, the pool's not that deep. I'm fine, a little banged up, and
I'm
funny
naked
now, but my ex is standing up there, and all she saw, because she's taking pictures, she turns around, and here I am going over this waterfall. She starts just screaming at the top of her lungs. I'm down there trying to tell her, because it took her a minute to kind of get around and work her way down. And, I'm screaming, I'm okay, but she can't hear me over the roar of the water and all that. So, she finally gets down there, and here I am. And, it totally kind of blew the rest of the hiking for that trip because I was bruised up from my knees.
Falling naked over a waterfall. Yeah.
Oh, Yosemite.
That's fair. The great outdoors.
That's right.
Do you often just strip naked in the great outdoors and go plunge in the water?
Well, I do not. Now, I did skinny dip once in high school, but other than that, I'm not exactly your exhibitionist by any means.
I went over a smaller waterfall one time in a canoe when I was about 14 or 15 years old.
You were clothed, right?
Yeah, well, I was definitely clothed. It was the Boy Scouts, so I should have been naked. But either way, we were coming down this river, and we were in northern Quebec. And we had maps back in the day. You put the map in the Ziploc bag, and a portage point basically on a map was determined by just a line that would go across the river or whatever. You knew you had to get out because it was impassable. Well, that line was in the crease of the map from one side to the other. We were circumventing two lakes in between this river, and this river kept picking up speed. And we were in the lead canoe, and the guy that was, man, oh man, I don't want to talk crap on this guy. Oh, the hell with it. This guy who was the scoutmaster, he was just he was the know-it-all of everything. You know what I mean? Like, he was just that guy who,
Scoutmaster.
No matter what you asked him,
Scoutmaster.
But he really didn't know everything. Like, he wasn't the main scoutmaster. He was like an assistant scout. He was the father of one of the kids that was in the troop with us in the patrol. But he didn't help. Like, he never helped. Like, he was the guy just like get to the camp and be like, all right, when's that chili going to be ready?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you pitch a tent over there and get us all set up. I'm going to sit here for a minute. I'm tired. Like, he was that guy. So he drove me nuts. But anyway, so he's adamant about it. He's looking at the map. He's flipping it over. And I'm like, I'm telling you, Mr. Bragg, look at the sides of the river. I was like, there's trails everywhere that are cleared, which means that someone picked up a canoe, put it on their back, and that trail is wide enough where you can carry a boat on the side of a river. And all of a sudden you hear, and we have like 4 canoes coming up behind us. I'm like, oh, Christ, man. So, and I'm in the front of the canoe. I start J-stroke. I start trying to get to the side. It's not working. So I basically, and he can't steer the goddamn thing. You're supposed to be, the lead is in the back of the canoe.
Right.
He's the guy who should at least rudder, do something.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's just looking at the map like, da, 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 da. So I'm trying to get us over to the side. So basically now the canoe's going sideways. And I realize, okay, now we're going to go sideways over this waterfall, which is the wrong way to go. So I start sweeping real hard to get the nose around to the front, and all of a sudden, I mean, it was just like a movie. I mean, we went right over this thing. It was probably like 6 feet, and we hit the middle of it because I was looking for a rock or anything to stop us, or like a shallow point on the side. But we were just at the mercy of the current, and the current was taking you right to the middle and right over the top of this waterfall. And we go over, and I just remember I lifted up my paddle over my head like, woohoo! Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, if you're going down a roller coaster
you're going over.
or a log jam, you're just going down. It was an old Coleman canoe. It was a big old metal canoe. And it's got a punt, and both sides of the canoe have styrofoam on each side to keep it the float. So when the nose hits, man, it submarines and we shoot back up and out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And of course, all the packs that we have, they all roll over, and then, like she said, you could stand up in the water at the time. It's probably 4 or 5 feet. I mean, you're up to your shoulders, but you could touch the ground because the waterfall kind of stepped off. It wasn't just one huge waterfall. It was 3 or 4 decent-sized waterfalls. And when you look up, now all these canoes
are following you.
Everybody came over?
Everybody's coming over. And it was, no one got hit, no one got hurt, amazingly enough, but everything was wet. Like all of our stuff was,
then everyone's packed going to the water.
Yeah, your sleeping bag is soaking wet. I mean, even though
what do you do at that point?
Right.
You just go and you hang them up in a tree and you call it a day, basically.
But I mean, how long did it take to try?
Well, it depends on the day.
I'd be so pissed at that guy,
man. Yeah. What's the, and I remember, oh God, my one buddy will still bring it up, because he would never carry his pack, but he would carry like 2 or 3 light things. He'd always say something like, "What's the matter, boys? Can't you keep up the pace?" And me and my buddy Brett would just sit in the back like, "You mother." Well, my diabetes is acting up, so I can't be too light on my feet. You know what I'm saying? I got to take a break here.
It only acts up when I have something to do.
God. What's the story behind the riskiest thing you've ever done? 844-999-OLA.
He sounds like Suge Knight with the courtroom heart attack.
Oh, my God.
Got the chest pains.
Oh, my God.
Hello, Andrew. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola!
So, I was living in Prague for a while, teaching English over there, and the day before I left, all my roommates went out of town. My landlords were out of town. I went outside to take a sauna and realized I left all my keys and cell phone and everything inside. So I had to go out the 3rd-story window of our apartment to get on the roof and then jump in through the skylight that was right above my room.
How did that work out?
It worked out fine, luckily. But I was dangling 30 feet above the ground on a concrete floor and almost slid on my, onto my head on the concrete.
How long?
Luckily, I just climbed up and over, but it was dangling and a little dangerous. I thought I might die for a second, but I had no choice,
No choice at all. There's nothing I can do.
No, I had no choice. All my roommates are out of town. My landlords are out of town. I can't call the cops because I'm in the Czech Republic. They don't speak English. They're not going to help me,
What are these songs?
Are you leaving town the next day? I'm like, I got to get on top of this roof somehow.
Are you going to one of those songs?
I tried climbing on the balcony, tried climbing a lot of things. Eventually, just had to go out to the window under the roof. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I had a skylight I could jump in through, but
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What happens when you smoke?
Dangerous.
What happens when you smoke weed?
This.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
You get jacked up.
From time to time, I got the ADD, so it kind of does the opposite for me,
Oh, so it's like speed.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, that's pretty
exciting. Weird, man.
That is cool.
It's like opposite world, Like if you have ADD, smoke weed, you get all jacked up. Wow. Probably does a lot of cocaine. Like, I'm going to go to bed.
Mm-hmm. That's like Xanax. Like people get all Xanax, pretty popular drug culture,
and it's what it brings you down, right? I'm not a pill guy, so I don't know. Is it an
so
upper
it brings
or
you down, but
Okay.
it's also just for anxiety and depression. So I've had some. So I took one once, and I was like, I don't know. Right, you just kind of did what it was supposed to do, right? So I was like, I guess I'm not pissed off.
Right. I'm all right, man.
Right? But I was like, I don't feel high.
Yeah. The only time I really see people regularly pop Xanax, it's always at an airport. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and they always said the same thing, like, oh, I get really anxious when I fly. I'm like, you and your 3 friends. All of you get, and you all use your Xanax, huh?
Yeah.
Seems like you're just popping pills, but what do I know?
I mean, it's massive in the rap world.
What, Xanax is?
Yeah, there's a guy named Little Xan.
Jesus. That says it all.
Let's say he's good. I'm just saying,
but still,
he
right there
took
in the
that.
name.
I want to say Johnny Manziel has a Xanax bar tattooed on his arm.
Are you kidding me?
It's that
No,
important.
and it's a downer too. It's like a lower dose opiate, I guess.
Okay. He actually got a tattoo of a Xanax.
I'm pretty sure he's got his Xanny bar on his arm.
Look, man, and look, I'm a huge tattoo guy. I'm all for it. But really think about it, because when 30 years goes by, it's not so much was the artwork good. It's like, what the F was I thinking at the time?
Still thinking about the tattoo that said Steve's Lunchbox.
Yeah.
What's the story behind the riskiest thing that you've ever done? 844-999-OLA.
Let's be honest. I think that guy's name was the riskiest thing.
Yeah.
Little Xan?
Yeah, little Xan.
I'll be little Xanax.
That's a great idea. His parents are so proud. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
How you guys doing today?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know what's the one thing I love about this radio station?
What's that?
I call in, and I don't even give you guys my name. You already know what it is. I'm like, hi, and they're like, hey, Brian, how's it going? It makes me feel good. Makes me feel like a part of the family.
Well, to be fair, we say, hey, Brian, to every single caller. That way, at least twice a day, we get it right.
All right. So this was when I was about 16 years old. I was longboarding down this really steep hill, and this was really early in the morning. I just woken up because I was going to buy a dirt bike. And I was riding down, and I wasn't paying attention to how fast I was going. And when I snapped out of it, I jumped off the board as an evasive maneuver because that's just something that I was taught to do. But going too fast, and I was about 200 pounds back in the day, I wasn't catching that speed. So my body just slammed straight to the ground. Head, back of my head, back of my shoulder, back of my knees, just sliding down this hill. And I'm like using my hands to cover myself, but it's not doing much. Like 3 seconds later, after I stopped rolling, my longboard comes down the hill and just smacks me straight in the ribs.
Ooh. How much damage did it do?
I went to one doctor, and they pretty much told me to suck it up, gave me some ibuprofen, and took me home. And that was it.
I think I saw that woman in a video the other day.
You're not hurt. I know, that poor dude. Oh, are you dying?
Oh, boy. What's the story behind the riskiest thing that you've ever done? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Drunk and Charge, Ryan Castle all the way. We'll sit and spin 4 days from Red Festival. 10 songs about beer, as over 20 beers available at Red Festival, including Men's Room Original Red. And, of course, delicious Men's Room Gold will be there as well. So the Drunk and Charge coming up, 10 songs about beer. All right, our question today. What is the story behind the riskiest thing that you've ever done? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Ski. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola!
How you doing, fellas?
Great, Ski. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Hey, so long story short, about 16 years ago, I'm on my honeymoon, and I ended up going to Tahiti. And while there, we booked this shark feeding expedition. And so we hop on the boat, we motor out to the reef, drop anchor, and they tied off this line to this rock. And the intent is they give you this snorkel gear, you hang on to the line, and then you can feed these about 6 to 7 foot black-tip reef sharks.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm. Those are pretty fast, aren't they? Those sharks, they move quickly.
They're faster than you.
Are those the real skinny ones that just kind of dart back and forth?
They are. And I found out you don't have to be the fastest swimmer, you got to be the second fastest swimmer.
All right.
Oh,
so,
sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, so we take off, and these sharks are pretty docile. They've been doing this for years. They understand. It's like the dinner bell when you throw anchor. So they come up. Well, upon seeing the first shark, this woman next to me kicks me full in the face, knocks my mask off, bloodies both nostrils.
Oh.
And instantly, these docile animals become wild animals. I could hear Eye of the Tiger playing in the background. And I think I ran back to the boat. And long story short, I didn't get back in the water after that. It should have been an omen for the rest of the marriage, but yeah, that wasn't my proudest moment.
So that was not your wife? That was not your wife that kicked you? It was just another woman in the group?
Yeah, it's just a woman next to me.
How long did it take for the sharks, from the time your blood hit the water, how long did it take the sharks to react?
About a second.
Okay.
How long after this?
They instantly became self-aware, and I left my ex-wife in the wake, and I just ran back to the boat.
Now, what about how many people are out there feeding the sharks? Because at this point, I'm guessing they want to eat just damn near anything.
Yeah, it was about 12 to 15, I would say.
Okay. Is Tahiti, is that the one where you see the pictures and the hotels, like they have the little huts and the
like
docks?
right on the water?
And you're out there on a little, or is that Bora Bora? Same idea?
Yeah, you got the glass bottom floors and everything, yeah.
God, that's...
I think Tahiti, Fiji, I think all that stuff probably has those.
Okay. I know it's a long way away, it seems like, when you look at the map on that.
Yeah, from every goddamn thing.
First you fly 7 hours to Hawaii, then 9 more hours to, in the middle of nowhere.
Now, see, The idea of voluntarily feeding sharks seems insane to me. But, Robin, you said this is like something on your bucket list? Like you really want to feed sharks?
Yes. Well, I don't want to feed them in any way. I want to be in a cage with great whites.
I don't think that's a good idea. Haven't you seen the videos lately?
I want to be in the cage, and the great whites are outside the cage. I don't want to be in a free swim
but they're
situation.
Only outside. Every time they show these things, like if a great white makes an attempt to open it or get in there, it seems like the door breaks, the lock breaks, the thing.
Yeah, I just saw that.
It just seems like a bad idea.
It just happened.
I'm not getting it on a discount site. I'm not.
I'm with Robin. There is some excitement in being in a shark cage.
It's very cool.
It's very exciting.
Yes.
There's no question.
And it's 5 days, and you have like professional video guys. It's like the best Christmas card waiting to happen. But if I die on this trip, you guys have full permission to pick on me. Please.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, have fun with it.
Like a dumbass jumped in the water with a great white shark.
And you can profile me white. You can go the whole night.
White.
Yeah, for
well,
sure.
You know, well,
was attacked by a great white shark in a shark cage. White.
I think it's the is it the saltwater crocodile in Australia that you can get in?
The giant one.
Oh my God!
That's ridiculous.
That is the one. If you have never seen a picture of this thing, there's a saltwater crocodile at some park somewhere, and you can be put in a cage and you can be lowered into this thing with this dinosaur of an animal.
You cannot believe how big this animal is, man.
One of the things about the question about the riskiest behavior you've ever done, I think there's a couple ways of looking at it. You know, at times when you've done risky behavior, there's other times when you've done risky behavior, but you don't know how close you were to really being in trouble. Until like in hindsight, you could find things out. But I'd be curious to know, like, what was I really almost close to being?
You think that's the riskiest thing you've done, but really it's
right. Because you don't know what that is, man. I mean, it's like when you just get to the intersection and the accident just happened.
Right.
And you had to go back.
You walked out of that alley at the right time.
Right, exactly. You don't know. Exactly. What is the story behind the riskiest thing you've ever done? 844-999-HOLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.